Hi, we're here at the Business Startup Show on day 2 of the show, and we're going to have a chat to Johnny Caldwell from Research Now to find out a little bit about what they're doing for startup businesses. Thank you very much for coming in, Johnny.
No problem, my pleasure.
Now, obviously, we've got a lot of people who are thinking about starting a business here at the Business Startup Show.
Yeah.
Why is market research so important?
Yeah, it's actually pretty fundamental to a business's success. Right from the very first inception of a product or service, you really have to be thinking about, is there a need for it? And the way to find out if there's a need for it is to do some really good market research. Having said that, it doesn't have to cost a lot. You can actually do what we call focus groups and set it up. Start it off amongst your friends, perhaps, and just test the water there. Develop the product and service. From there, and then you really have to be thinking about some proper, good quantitative research with quite a few larger samples of people. It's all important, obviously, because if you want to, for instance, get VC or go to a bank to get a bank loan to set up your company, they won't really let you through the door unless you've done some research and you can actually support your product or service in a way that's going to appeal to them, and they know that they'll get their money back plus some, really.
So tell me a little bit about Research Now. What do you guys actually offer?
Well, we are actually, our history is as a startup as well. So we actually started up as a very small company. We were originally called the Mobile Channel. That was basically marketing over mobile phones. However, it then morphed into an online panel company.
Right.
So basically we have, for instance, in the UK about 400,000 people on our online panel, and we have a lot of market research agencies and corporates come to us to actually field their questions, and we field it all online and set up the tables, tabular reports and that sort of thing, and give it back to the client. And hopefully that informs them and tells them about their own new products and services and about
test the waters a little bit.
Advertising, research, all sorts.
Okay. When did you guys actually start up yourselves?
Well, as the Mobile Channel is probably about 2000, but as the company we are now, Research Now, actually came into being in sort of mid-2003. Okay. So when I joined, I was employee number 6, and we were a very small office in Pimlico. Now offices worldwide, 38 panels across the world, and employ probably around about just under 1,000 staff. So in 7 years.
Not bad
at all. But that's, the secret to that is doing your own market research and making sure that there is a need for your product. So we were able to convince our own venture capitalists that this was a good thing to go for, and I think if you asked any of them, they're very happy. They've got their money back and some.
What are you risking as a small business if you don't? Firstly, don't do the research, or secondly, don't do it properly.
Yeah. Well, let's say, for instance, the major thing is if you're after VC, you just won't get it without any. If you are lucky enough to have a little bit of money put by that you don't need any investment, when you come up or create a product or service, you're very close to it, and you're probably not as critical of it as you really should be. So you really need that outside view of people who aren't as involved with it as you are. The risk is that you believe in your product and you go out and sell it and no one wants it. That's just one area of research. I mean, obviously there's advertising research. There's research to do with, let's say your product was food or something like that. There's taste tests that we can do and all these types of things. So if you don't actually research it, or you do it in a bad way, what you risk is, one, obviously you can be wasting your money if you do bad research, but equally your products more than likely might flop and you don't know why, and you haven't made those adjustments. Sometimes it's just a little bit of fine tuning to a product, and that's what the kind of feedback you get from market research can tell you.
Are startups and SMEs your main audience, your main target?
It could be absolutely anybody. We actually cover the whole gamut of what's out there in the business world. So it's anything from financial research to business to business. We have big business to business panels. So let's say the startup is something to do with the service to businesses, then we can service that side of things as well. But we also have a large consumer panel as well. So these are for testing any products that might take your fancy. It's anything from chocolate bars to whiskey to your adverts.
Sure. Okay. And if people want to inquire or find out more about your services, how do we get in touch?
Oh, well, we're online, funnily enough.
No.
And that's researchnow.com. We can we do a lot of the major market research types of shows, so that's a big conference, Market Research Society conference, and SMR, and there's also a market research show especially for businesses to come along to, called the Insights Show, which is at Earl's Court, and any startup who's interested should really go there and see what's on offer. As I say, you don't have to spend a lot of money doing research. There are ways and means of starting up. I'd say initially a startup should actually do some what we call desk research. So you've got the internet there, and all you have to do is go out and really find out what other products and services are around.
Sure.
What's your competitor fit? You might not, you might think you've got the unique product, but actually, a bit of desk research, you find out that it might not be. And again, this is what VC and banks will want to know from you, and expect that you've actually researched that side of things yourself.
Before you go ahead and put your whole life into this business, you want to make sure that other people are going to respond
well, that's
to
right.
it.
Yes, that's the thing. As I said before, you can be very close to it, and it's your baby, and like a mother and his son, she doesn't often see the faults that he may have, and it's just the same with the product that you might create.
But you've given us some really good advice. Thank you very much for being with us today, Johnny.
Yes. Welcome to the Thanks very much.